welcome to Toad TV. I am Mary Beth.
I'm Helen.
We are the creative hands and minds behind Toad Hollow, and welcome. Today is Tuesday, January 23rd. Yes?
Yes.
Yes, 23rd. So
there's one deek and one deek.
One deek left in...
One deek and one way left in the month.
Okay, so, yeah, 8 days left. Wow. Okay. So anyway, we are here to talk about yarn. We're here to talk about projects. We're here to talk about a whole bunch of stuff. So, what are we wearing?
We are wearing the Payton head wrap by Sunshine Daisy's Crochet.
Sent to us, we got a box of Happy Mail, beautiful Happy Mail from April. And this is just, I mean, gorgeous.
Yes.
Absolutely gorgeous. She said that there was one that was orange and one that was pink. And guess who got the orange one? There really was no question because Helen loves pink and I love orange, so it's perfect. But they are after, they're from a yarn company called...
It's Montana Crochet is the yarn, and it's Bitterroot is mine, and Blanket Flower is yours.
And they're named after and inspired by the wildflowers in Montana.
Right.
So they are absolutely spectacular. This one has got reds and yellows and oranges in it. It's gorgeous. I mean, it's so beautiful. This yarn color is so me.
And mine is all shades of pink. And
that reminds me of dahlias.
Yeah. They are so
squishy.
Squishy and warm. They're double layered.
It's DK yarn.
She says she uses about a full skein of DK for each one. She was going crazy with them for Christmas because I was following along with her because she was using a lot of our yarn and she would put them up as she made them. But they are just really, really... I wore mine last night walking the dogs. Perfect.
Yeah.
For like 25 to 40 degrees. Anything lower than 25, I need my whole head covered. But so good on the ears. Oh my God, they were perfect.
Yeah, no, they're really, really.
So I'm contemplating, since it uses a full skein of DK, it's a great way to to use DK yarn.
Yeah.
So I'm contemplating looking it up and doing some.
It would be a great thing to do. And then I know that there are people who do this. You just have a basket that's ready for gifts.
Yeah.
So, like the Amazon lady, when she's delivering, you know, hey, here's a gift. You go and visit somebody and it's like, hey, here's a gift, you know, because these are perfect.
Hey, Instacart driver, you really shouldn't have pulled into my driveway and gotten yourself stuck on my icy driveway. Have a head wrap. Not that that's happened to us.
We had an Instacart delivery over the weekend, and she got stuck because she had bald tires. I mean, her tires were bald. Anyway, she pulled in and she got stuck. So then we said, all right, we have a long driveway that has a loop in it. Why not come down, do the loop so you're not trying to back out. You're going straight up. That just got her stuck further down the driveway. So what we wound up doing was I got in our car, which was behind her, and pushed her up the driveway.
Be gone, Instacart woman.
And it worked out very, very well because we have an awesome car that could handle that.
Yeah.
I was very, very worried about, you know, hitting her too hard, but we were inching until I felt her bumper and then started pushing a little bit harder. And it worked out well. It really did. We got her out.
The best solution because even shoveling it wasn't working because it was all ice. So
there was nothing that was working. However, we do not have an Instacart lady living in our driveway anymore, so it all worked out fine. However, yes.
If I have a basket of these and the next time
she comes, we'll give her one. But yeah, no, I think that's a great idea because it's also a great way to showcase the yarn.
Yeah.
So if we ever start doing shows again, you know, you have them hanging up with showcasing the yarn, and then if anybody wants to buy them, sure.
Yeah.
For sale.
Exactly.
Go ahead. $1 million. Okay.
Considering the speed at which I crochet, you're not far off.
All right. So we have a couple of admin things to talk about quickly. Some yarn is leaving at the end of the month. Some other yarn has just been put into the shop. So shall we do the leaving first?
Sure. The November clubs are January 31st is their last time for pre-order. So they may stay in the shop with the existing inventory that we have until that goes away. But if you want to order it on a specific base and not be left with what we have. January 31st is the last chance to order. So we have our denizen was Phineas the Deer.
That's blue. It's looking kind of gray to me, but it's blue.
Yeah.
Okay. That actually is good.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
With lots of speckles. Then the Disney Club was Peter Pan. That's green. And our favorite books for the month was Winter Solstice. So, have until next week. And then just what's left will go in the shop is ready to ship. And after those are gone, they're gone.
Okay.
That's that.
And then the new yarns that are coming in are not new, but we've put them in. We have our Spectre color, which is just a soft gray, like a medium soft gray.
This was the color that I used as the main color of my Battenberg, so a lot of people have requested it for their Battenbergs, so we added it to the shop yesterday.
And then we also have New Jersey Beaches, which is a sandy brown color, like a tan taupey. Taupe, I think, is a good color for it. It's taupe with a little bit of speckles, very light speckles. We were at New Jersey Sheep and Wool one time, and there was a lady who thought it had gotten dirty, and she was trying to pick off because she thought it was dirt. Please stop picking at my yarn. Those are supposed to be there.
Yarn. This is also a very good neutral for
very good
blankets and such. So it's it's not quite an undyed skein. So there's a little more depth of color to it, and it's a little tanner than an undyed skein, but it works.
It's really, really good for like the base of a sweater when you're doing color work.
Right.
Or if you're doing like a bright pink and you want something that's really going to showcase that's not going to take away from the pink for your color work, this would be the great to use as the color work.
Somebody is buying it for a blanket where she's going to be using a lot of our bright colors. And then this will be the main color. So
those two colors are now available in the store.
Right.
So they're part of our neutrals selection along with Snow White. They're great to use as background.
Right.
Okay. All right. So what do you have to show?
I have two things.
Okay. Shall we do the sweaters last?
Sure.
Okay. I'm going to start with my crochet blanket that I'm working on. This is the one using our favorite books. And I have added in most of Beasts of Extraordinary Circumstance. So we have Remarkably Bright Creatures. That is Winter Solstice, if you want to know how that knit up or crocheted up. And then this is Beasts of Extraordinary Circumstance. I'm doing this DK yarn, just double crochets straight across. And this is how it's showing so far. I cannot wait to add January's yarn to it. But I have to make my mitts out of January's yarn first. So that is that.
Okay. I just have brioche on the brain this week. So I wanted to knit up a fingering weight cowl. And I was thinking of using minis because we have a lot of minis. So that's what I was searching on Ravelry were multicolor cowls. And I saw this chromatic cowl, which I'm going to put right here. And from the picture, you think it's minis, but she actually used a rainbow gradient. But it's 2-color brioche, and I thought, oh, okay, well, I've mastered single color brioche. Why don't I try the 2-color? So I was going to possibly do it with minis, but then I saw that silver bells and pink candy canes were left from Mary Beth's Pink Santa project. And I thought, oh, pink and gray.
Yeah.
Done and done.
Yeah.
So I have started the chromatic cow. And it's so pretty.
It is gorgeous.
So that's the gray side, and then that would be the pink side.
So does it turn out to be two-sided when you're done?
I think so, because that's the second side, and it's
beautiful.
it's very similar.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't really tell which is which. So I thought I was going to have issues with the two-color brioche. It's really not hard at all.
Okay.
It's just keeping your yarns managed. And the biggest thing is, since I'm knitting in the round, is a brioche stitch is mainly the row before you're yarn overing and slipping a stitch together.
Okay.
And the brioche stitch is when you come around and knit those two stitches together. So see right here, you've got the yarn over and the stitch. So I'm going to knit those two together. So when you end a row, since you're doing two color, if you end the row with the yarn over slip stitch,
Okay.
you're picking, in the very next stitch, you're picking up a different strand of yarn. So you have to remember when you come back around to wrap that stitch.
Okay.
If you follow, because so here's my last stitch of the row, and it is supposed to be wrapped with the gray, but since I'm not using the gray for the next stitch, it didn't get caught. So it's just kind of hanging out there. So when you come around, you've got to remember that you've got to bring the yarn over so you can stitch them together.
Okay.
That's like the biggest thing, so that this stitch always is right.
Okay.
But other than that, it's very easy. You do have to purl. One row is knit and one row is purl when you're knitting in the round. That's just the way the brioche stitch works, because if you're knitting it flat, it's always knit. You never have to purl on the coming back around. So when I'm using pink candy canes, I'm purling it's a brioche purl, but you're just purling those two stitches together.
Okay.
So
you don't have to do a yarn over purl.
No, you do a yarn over, slip the stitch, and then you purl the brioche stitch.
Okay.
So, but I'm loving
It
how
looks
soft
beautiful.
and delicate the pink and the gray are together.
Oh yeah, they're gorgeous.
So you just go around and around doing the brioche until you've decided it's long enough, and then you do it's a garter, 3 rows
Okay.
as your cuff or whatever, your brim, I guess. So that's my chromatic cowl.
It's really, really beautiful.
Yeah.
All right. Sweaters. Helen decided that she wanted to make a sweater in a month to see if she could do it. So I said, I can't start a new sweater, but I'm going to try and finish a sweater. So I'm working on the Honey Vodka Lemonade by Baby Cocktails. And this is where I was the last time we spoke. That's where I was picking it up and starting. So the stitch or the progress keeper is where I was. This is where I am now.
Cool, done.
Yeah. All right, so I got it to the point. I took it the number of rows that she said to do it, and it wasn't quite long enough for me because
before you split for sleeves, right?
Yes, before I split for the sleeves. It wasn't quite long enough for me because I did not do a gauge swatch because they're stupid. So I just kept going a couple of extra rounds and got it to the length that I wanted it to do, because that's what she says to do. You do your raglan until you get to the point where you're done adding for the raglan part, and then there are a couple more rows where you're adding for the body, and then if it's not to the length that you want, you just keep going, but don't have the additional adding stitches. So you don't have to make ones. This is the front. And that's where it is. Last night, I split for my sleeves. And I've done that much since I've split for my sleeves. See how much I got done? It will come quickly because now it's just straight knit around. There's no add one or anything like that.
Is there a seam going down or just straight knit?
There is a seed stitch pattern underneath the arm going down the side. So you just need to do the seed stitch 4 stitches before the marker and 4 stitches after. So it's really very, very simple, and everything else is knit. I'm doing this obviously top down, so you do all the raglan stuff, and then when it comes time, I just took a needle and some extra yarn and took off my sleeves, the stitches from my sleeves, and then just followed the pattern in picking up extra stitches to close the gap. And then when I pick up my sleeves, it will be, I'll pick up all the sleeves from the thread and then pick up a couple of extra stitches at the end of it to close up this little gap here. But right now I am to the point where it is perfect potato chip knitting. It is just knit all the way around until you get to under the arms, and then just do a quick 8 stitch seed stitch pattern and then keep going. And I'm doing this
and just go to town.
Yep. This is Whimsical Gourds from our Witches Library collection. And it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. It's going to be a lovely, comfortable, boxy sweater. It's not supposed to be a fitted one or anything like that. It's supposed to be a great big comfortable sweater that you just throw on over a long sleeve t-shirt type of thing. So I'm very, very happy with the way it's going. It's been about 5 days. I think last Thursday was the day that we actually started doing it.
Yeah, I think today, I figured out today. Yesterday was day 5. Today's day 6.
Okay, so I've done 5 days worth of work. So I'm happy. I think I'm going to be able to get the body done in the 2 weeks without a problem. And then the sleeves should go fairly quickly because I have short arms. So, you know, it's just, and I did it on one of my sweaters where I did almost a balloon sleeve. I didn't decrease very much for the sleeve. So the sleeve was really balloony until you get to the end, and then you do a cuff and it tightens it up. And I kind of like that look and the comfort of it. So I'm not sure whether I'm going to do that or not. I shall see. Or I may just do it that I follow her pattern. We shall see.
Okay.
You know, but that's where I am right now. So progress is good. I think I'm in a good spot. Now I need to measure it and figure out how many inches I need to get done each week to be able to finish it. So I just have to figure out where it hits on me and how many more inches I need. And then I'll be able to figure out, okay, I need to make sure I get 5 inches done this week and 5 inches done next week, or that kind of thing.
So mine is the Fab cardigan in the monochrome. It's a bulky weight cardigan that is done in brioche. So I am doing it in Down a Narrow Path, which was Halloween yarn from a couple of years ago where we held back sweaters quantity for it. I am using DK and I'm holding it double to get the bulky gauge. And I was here last week. I just started it. And I am halfway through my 7th of 9 raglan increases. Middle of the row, of course. But that kind of helps with the whole look of it.
Oh my God, that's so beautiful.
this is the front.
Oh, I love this yarn.
This is the fluffiest, squishiest stitch.
Honestly.
In the brioche. It's going to be exactly what I wanted. I wanted a big, comfy, cozy cardigan. Nothing that's going to be flattering. Just going to be the most comfortable thing in the world. In the dark and drafty castle. So that's the back. I just finished my first 2 skeins, which would be like if I were doing it in bulky, it would be my first skein because I'm holding the yarn double. But so I'm moving on. I started my second skeins yesterday.
Oh my God. Honestly, this is just spectacular.
So I am increasing in the raglan. I increased for the raglan, which you can kind of see here. And then you're also increasing here for the front because it's a V-neck.
Okay.
So you can see how I started with 65 stitches and I'm going to end up with 200 and something by the time I'm done all the increases.
Okay. All right. When you figure out how many rows it is, I did it with the shaved ice because that was a V-neck too.
Oh,
and when
okay.
you're going through and you're figuring it out and you're thinking, oh, I am doing so well. And then you count your stitches and you're only halfway there and you still have 100 stitches left to go. It's like, oh my God, that's like 40 more rows.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah, it's 8 rows in between each increase.
Okay.
So.
Knitting quickly?
Oh, it knits quickly. I mean, I've done all of this in 5 days.
What size needles are you on?
I'm on size 11 needles.
Okay.
I'll use 10 for the button band when I have to pick up the button band. So my plan is to try and get the body done in the first 2 weeks, the sleeves done in the second week, in the third week, and then the button band in the final week.
Okay. All right.
I'm hoping like this week will be like in the next day or so, since I only have 2 days left of this week, get the increases done. Okay. So then I'm just going around. Okay. Because it's just straight brioche knitting. You knit your brioche stitches and you slip the other stitch to. Okay. So I do find the needles clunky. I'm not used to using
that big,
logs to knit my yarn with. And they're very pointy. I'm doing a lot of this to move the stitches along because I'm still, it's not quite in the round. Well, no, it's never going to be in the round because it's a cardigan. But, so I'm doing a lot of pushing. And it does hurt because that's a substantial needle that you're pushing in. Yeah. So, but other than that, it's really, and I cannot wait for it to be done because it's exactly what I wanted.
It's going to be so perfect. It's phenomenal. It really is.
I really wish you could squish this. But look at that.
The color is so pretty.
I adore the color too.
Oh my God. And holding it double kind of lightens it a little bit. My God, it's so pretty.
And it also negates the need for alternating skeins or anything like that. So it's highly variegated. I'm holding it double.
I honestly think I'm going back to the way I did the JC, and it's none of this alternating skeins business. You just do a thin stripe of a different color in there and go on to the next skein so they're not right on top of each other. Yeah. But because alternating skeins is a pain in the neck that I just really don't have brain space for. Yeah. But no, it's so pretty.
I love it.
Gorgeous.
So comfortable.
Yes.
And I will say, this is a pattern that you should read. When they tell you at the beginning of every pattern, read through before starting, and you think, oh yeah, okay, whatever. Where's the cast on? How many cast stitches do I get on? There are, in like the stitch definitions and that kind of thing, little tips and tricks. Like when you have your increase row, you do the KYOK stitch, which is you knit into the stitch, you yarn over, and then you knit into the stitch again, and then you slip it off.
Okay.
But that doesn't create that creates, now you have 3 stitches and you don't have a brioche stitch. So it's kind of like you're going around, you're like, okay, well, what do I do?
Okay.
Because you always have, it's a slip stitch and a brioche stitch. That's your pattern. And it says, there's a little, caveat that, when you get down to the next row, this is how you handle the KYOK.
Okay.
And it's just like, okay, well, that should be in like the first row after, you do your first increase.
Right.
So, and the increase row is, it's like one big run-on sentence with the instructions, so that you really have to, like, you're going along and you're like, you kind of get lost in the run-on sentence. Like, okay, where the hell am I? But once you do it once or twice, then you get a hang of where the increases go.
Okay.
Because you have stitch markers.
Mm-hmm.
So that it's, you get the hang of it. But like the first couple times, it's like you're going along, and if you're not complete, if you're watching TV or something, and it's just like you go back in and you're halfway through the row, and it's like, where the hell am I?
Oh, okay. All right.
But other than that, so far it's a piece of cake.
All right. Well, that's very good.
And I'm enjoying the brioche. I love the squishy of the stitch.
Yeah. So. And you have something that you're really, really excited as the final product. So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's cool. Very cool. All right. Okay. I think that just about does it, right?
That's it for
I think we are done.
Projects and stuff.
We have been focusing on the sweaters.
Yeah.
Throwing in a little crochet in between, but and Helen with her brioche cowl. But for the most part, our focus is on the sweaters so that we can really see if we can get that done.
Right.
Because I have another one that needs to be finished when this one is done. And I have a whole bunch of yarn that we held back in sweater quantities that are supposed to be sweaters. So if I'm going to do this, I need to focus.
Yes, and if this one fits the way I hope it's going to, and it's comfortable. She has the 2-color brioche version, and I already have that all planned out.
Oh, okay. All right. Can we know what you're going to do it in?
We have a skein of almost all the pinks from the pink collection in Bucky.
Okay.
So I'm going to use like New Jersey Beaches or something as the main color, and then go through the pinks as a gradient.
Oh my God. We might want to dye up sage.
And do sage instead.
Sage?
Yeah, sage and pink, yeah.
Oh my God, that would be so pretty.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that would be so pretty.
But I can't get ahead of myself. Finish the sweater. Make sure it fits.
Yeah.
And it's exactly what I want.
Right.
And then I'll jump in and do another one.
Okay, cool.
So.
Because you're going to get it done so quickly.
Right.
It's going to be like, what?
Yeah.
It's a month. What's a month? Yeah. Okay. All right. I think we are just about done then. I think we are going to head off. It's lunchtime. I'm hungry. What else is new? The guys are waiting very patiently for their food, so we have to feed them.
Right.
Dudley is sitting on the dining room or the kitchen table screaming. So he's got to be fed. Life at the Hollow.
Yes.
Always something wanting to be fed.
The animals run the joint.
Yeah.
We will be back on Friday with our regular live at noon.
Okay.
I think we're going to be talking about, or one of the things we'll be talking about is how we're handling our book vent books and getting them read.
Okay.
So
something to look
because
forward
somebody
to.
had asked us how we are making sure that we actually read the books that we gave for book vent.
Right.
So,
yeah, because I mean, all the books we're very excited about. We gave each other good books.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're things that we don't want to read. We want to read all of them. It's just how do you fit it in with everything else? Do you just do book vent, or do you do other things too? So that's what we're going to be talking about.
Stay tuned.
Also, we will be updating you on how many books we've actually read from our book vents.
Right.
And what we're reading right now.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I hope you guys have a great rest of the week.
Go forth and create.
And we will see you on Friday, noon Eastern Standard Time. Live. Bye.